Salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to compile the work of our brother AbdulAzziz Al-Haqqan from the YouTube channel Garden of Ilm, who did a question and answer session about half a year ago about the topic of entertainment and gaming and etc. and so on. And mashallah, he did two parts of this video, and together I think they're 3.5 hours long, which is a lot of time to watch, obviously. So I would like to compile his work a little bit and pick the most important, from my understanding, most important questions and answers, and to make this more accessible to a few more people, bi'idhnillah. All the credit of this video goes to the brother, and may Allah be pleased with him and increase him in knowledge, and may he bring more beneficial knowledge to a broader audience that will benefit us all, inshallah. And since this topic is also very important to myself, I think this is a good opportunity also for this channel, because I have started this channel by doing gaming content and try to make it halal, but due to a lack of knowledge and uncertainty, since I didn't want to produce and put forth anything that is not permissible and that will be sinful for me and for others to watch, and I would gain all those sins by putting it out there, I stopped doing any gaming content on this channel. However, through the knowledge that I gained through this brother, I will open up a side channel to this one, which will be dedicated to halal gaming content, and you are welcome to check it out. For now, there is no content yet on there. I'm still waiting for some hardware, and then I can start recording some gaming footage and inshallah put this on YouTube for you to watch when you have some time and you just want to chill and relax after your obligations obviously are fulfilled. So yeah, there will be content for both adults and also for children. So if you're a parent and you don't want your child to watch something that is impermissible, then you're more than welcome also to check out the channel. The link of the YouTube channel of the Garden of Ilm will be in the description, as well as my other gaming channel. So without any further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. Jazakallahu khairan. I hope I'll see you in the next video, but until then, assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Could you provide details about magic in games? You mentioned that it is not real magic and more like a weapon, but does this mean that the hukum is permissible? Yes, permissible, or just not as grave as magic. La, it means it's permissible. Na'am, so many games nowadays, so many games, especially RPGs, the role-playing games, and the different genres regarding this. They do what? You choose. You choose. There is warrior, there is hunter, there is magician, right? There is priest, and sometimes there is a warrior with a cross on him and so on. So what do we do now? What do we do? The game doesn't have anything that is haram. Music, I muted the music. I go to options. I advise everyone, you want to play, you go options and you lower the music until 0, or you mute it. Mute, or you mute the television. طيب. Priest, don't play as a priest. Priest as something religious, stay away from it. طيب, what about if it has a cross? If there is glorification of the cross, this is haram. There is a game where I think there is maybe jinn, I think, if I'm not, you correct me, I do not know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, but I think this is the game, and you have to use the cross. There's glorification of the cross. La, this is haram. This is haram. This is forbidden. طيب. What about if it was somewhere in the background, somewhere at a place there is a church, at a place there is, khalas, you can move on through the game without having to deal with it, right? You can just move on without having to deal with it, and this is not haram, inshallah azza wa jal. Oh, you can ignore it. Alhamdulillah. طيب. What about magic? Yalla, I have a character called mage, or called sorcerer, or called whatever. Magic. What is the magic in the game? Wallah, he raises his hand and fire comes out. He raises his hand and frost comes out. He does this, he shoots from his hand. He shoots from his hand fire. He shoots from his hand frost. He shoots from his hand electricity. This is not magic. This is not magic. It's like saying Superman. Superman flies, huh? And Batman, he has, or Spider-Man, he shoots web and start as if he's flying, and he does, and he's incredibly strong. Or you have the Incredible Hulk, right? Or the other one, X-Man, the Wolverine, the one that has blades. Yes? But this is not sorcery. This is not magic. They call them mutations. They call them whatever it is. This is not magic. Magic is when you play a game, and in the game they tell you what? Sacrifice to the devil. Sacrifice to the grave. There are games like this, ya ikhwa. Pray to the statue. Huh? Worship the devil. When there is sorcery, when something that is like sorcery, like soothsaying, for example, you're playing a game and there is a soothsayer and she tells the future, haram, throw this game in the garbage. Khalas, it is no longer from Allahu, which is mubah. Allahu, ya ikhwa, when we talk about having fun, playing games, the asl, the continuous rule in Islam is that it is allowed. It is allowed, unless we have evidence that it is haram. Understood? طيب. But if there is magic that is similar to sorcery in real life, this is what is haram. Therefore, ya ikhwa, sometimes some of the brothers, they go to the mashayikh and they ask a question. They say, what is the ruling on magic in games? You think the mashayikh know what games are? Yeah, I remember when I went to Sheikh Muhammad Hisham and I asked him about games, his answer was general. He said, if the games, they develop a strategy, mental faculties, logical thinking, it has, and there are many games like this, by the way, ya ikhwa, especially in board games, in board games and card games and stuff like this. There's a lot of thinking, There's also a game called Dama, if you don't know about, there's a game called Dama, which is a replacement for chess. You can play it and there's a lot of thinking into it. So he said that which increases cleverness and this is allowed, as long as it doesn't have something which is haram. So when you go and tell him there is sorcery in it, the sheikh thinks sorcery, magic, meaning what? Getting closer to the shaitan. Getting closer to the shaitan and knowing the unknown and the ghaib and ya akhi, or having to do defiling Islam and the Quran, and this is what the mashayikh they think of. But if you go and tell the sheikh, it's just the name, and it might have another name, and he just shoots out, and he does this with his hand and fire comes out, or he shoots laser from his eyes, something like this. Now it changes. I remember I asked Sheikh Ahmed Mansour Sabarak about this. He said, la, this now it changes. Because when I asked him, I said about magic, he said, it is haram, it's forbidden. I said, but what they mean, Sheikh, is that he shoots fire, and he said, la, this, I said, it's like a weapon. He shoots fire and so on. He said, la, this is not what is meant by sorcery. And this is allowed, inshallah, Azza wa Jal, as long as it does not include something that is haram. طيب. Is it permissible to play games that have a focus on loot boxes if you only spend fake in-game currency? Note that many other people use real money for these games. Wallahi, this is such an important question. We have games nowadays. In Kuwait, they say pakijat. My students they mean package in English package. The plural is packages. They made the plural Arabic. Instead of packages, they say pakijat. They gave it an Arabic plural. Sayarat, cars. طيب. So they ask, they say, we play a game and there are loot boxes, there are pakijat, there are gacha. You know what gacha is? Gacha as well. And it means what? You pay real money. You pay real money. And then they tell you, you get 1 of 100 characters. You get 1 of 100 weapons. You get 1 or 2, 1 of 2 skins. Even if it was just 2, 1 of 2. 1 of 10, whatever it is. You paid real money and you're going to get 1 of these. This is gambling as well as gharar. Gharar in Islam is haram. Gharar in Islam is, even if it was not gambling. Let's say it's not gambling, even though it is. But let's say it's not gambling. Gharar. You don't know, you're buying something and you don't know what you're getting. It's like I come, I have 5 cars, one for $10,000, one for $20,000, all the way till $100,000. And I say, look, give me $50,000 and you get one of the 5. But which one are you getting? You don't know. This is gharar. You don't know what you're getting. One of the 2, one of the 3, one of the 10. This is haram. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked about gharar, and he said it is forbidden as is narrated in Sahih Muslim. As is narrated in Sahih Muslim. So you cannot play any of these games. طيب. So don't pay money. طيب, what is gambling? You know, gambling, what we know is casinos, right? Casino, what do? They have a machine. The machine spins and you throw a ball. Whatever number it hits, if it is the correct number, you get money. طيب, you're paying money and one of the characters is gonna, isn't it the same thing, ya ikhwan? It's the same thing. The what do you call them? The machines. The slot machines. What do? You put money and you do this, and one of the things that you want come out, whether it is an iPhone, a phone, whether it is a money, whether it is. So the same thing, you're trying to buy something in the game. It's like the slot machine. It's like the wheel that spins. You put money and you don't know which character you're getting. This is haram. Gambling. You either win or lose. If the character that you want did not come to you, you're going to pay more money. If the character that you want came to you in the first try, they lost because they want more, for example. طيب, what about the ruling of the game where you can buy with money the character you want, the weapon you want, the thing that you want? This is allowed. This is halal. No problem. This is allowed. طيب, we go back to the question. The Shaykh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him, he asked, who is the brother that asked, he said, what about if I don't spend real money? It is allowed. It is allowed. I've asked the mashayikh regarding this. I went to the mashayikh and I asked. And there are, by the way, questions for Sheikh Muhammad Hisham like 8 years ago and 7 years ago or something with my voice, asking him about these things in the majalis al-fiqhiyya. If you have come across them, you'll find me asking him about video games. Actually, sometimes he would tell me, and he was asked about a game called Clash of Clans. And the Sheikh asked me, he said, this is how it is pronounced. I was there when he was asked about it. But the Sheikh answered not about the game itself. He answered in regards to the system. طيب. So, is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. I asked. But some of the mashayikh, they added. They said, it has gambling, it has this and that. Better to choose something else. Even in the heart, you deny it. You say it has this, it has that. Let's see something else. This is better. But some of the mashayikh, they said it's allowed. As long as you don't pay real money, it is allowed. طيب. Ya Shaykh ibn Muhammad, the one who asked me, what if somebody paid, don't get shocked, huh? Allah, if someone paid $3,000 on a game, don't get shocked. So many people do this. They don't care. $3,000 on a game. La. This is excessiveness. إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. Those who spend excessively, they are the brothers of the shayateen. Allah said in Surah Al-Isra. So, tabdhir in Islam is haram. You buy a game for whatever it is, the price of the game, fine. I know that games don't go above what I know is that in my country, what I know is that they go for like $60 or something like that, right? Yeah, they don't go for more than that, but hundreds and thousands, la. Then we are going into excessiveness, and we need to reconsider. Barakallahu fikum. طيب. A video game rewards players with keys and chests after matches for free. One key and the chests are consumed to open a chest in which a random item of random value is found. Not involving money. This is allowed, inshallah. As I said, I answered this. This is allowed. Better to find something else to play, but this is allowed, as I have specifically asked some of the mashayikh in Kuwait about this, and this was their answer. طيب. What else? نعم. Zombies. One of the brothers says zombies. نعم. This is also, you have zombies. Zombies are not real things, right? You brought up a real important point here. What if the game has things that are not real? Not even human beings. This is the safest out of them. It's just made up things, right? Made up things that that play. Or you have people and they don't have facial features. This is allowed. Therefore, I remember when I was speaking to one of the mashayikh, he told me we are in dire need of this. We are in dire need of an alternative. Alternative. يعني a game or games, cartoons, anime that doesn't have facial features. It has a mouth, for example. It's not a face to face. Killing zombies, horror, I don't know, devils, whatnot, monsters. This is allowed. These are not real things. Barakallahu fikum. طيب. Is it permissible to play anime games? Games in general. Games in general. This goes back to whether what you have in games, they are tasweer or not. And I've asked about this. I remember I asked a PhD professor in the Sharia University in Kuwait. And he said, I do not know. Allah knows best. He said, we cannot easily just go and say that is this tasweer or not. We have to actually, this is what he told me. He said, we have to do like a full thesis on it. Like if we can have students that actually do masters and PhD, and we see what are these engines that they make the games on. What are these machines that they put on people when they make these, and how do they draw? How do they animate? And so on and so forth. But the correct saying, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best in regards to cartoon and including games and so on, is that this is not from tasweer. This is not from tasweer. And Al-Imam bin Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, he had two fatwa regarding this, and in the end he said, Allahu a'lam, is that it is not from tasweer, and to watch cartoons. Yani my kid, my child opens and watches a cartoon, for example. The cartoon has a little girl and some animals or some sheep, and this is allowed on the correct saying of the people of Ilm. And I remember there is one, this was very back in the day, and I asked, because I was just, yani, I was starting to seek ilm and so on, and I had my nephews and nieces, and they are children. They wanted to see a cartoon movie. I don't know if you know this or not. It's animation. It's anime. The cartoon is called, it's very famous, Sheikh Ja'far. Sheikh Ja'far laughs when I say the name. It's very famous. It's called Detective Conan. And I asked, I said, Sheikh, they're really, yani, really nagging me. Uncle, watch with us, uncle. It's about detective and yani smart things and how cleverly he solves the problems and so on. If I remember, I asked the Sheikh, I said, Sheikh, is this allowed? And he said, Inshallah, ma fi illa al-afiyah. He said, and Inshallah, it is allowed. Go, there's Inshallah nothing wrong with it and so on. But of course, I add to what the Sheikh said, that if there is a music, you mute it. If there's a music, you turn the volume down. And I asked also, I told you Sheikh Ahmed Sabalik, who's the president of the Jami' al-Islamiyya al-Alamiyya, who visited us twice in Kuwait, and I asked specifically about this. And the Sheikh has a different view in regards to this. The Sheikh says, I asked him, I said, Sheikh, you know about anime, you know about... He said, yes. And he told me about Conan, the same one, because it's very, very famous for us here in yani, the Arab, in the Middle East and so on. He said that he was given the anime, he watched the full first episode, he himself, the Sheikh, he said he watched the full first episode, and he says, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, he says that the Japanese, when they made these anime, they made it specifically for the children to have a set of knowledge and expertise that when they reach a certain age, they would have known these things. Yani they are developing the minds in a certain way. But he told me about a study that they have made in regards to this. I don't remember the details, but this is the information, that it was dedicated, yani, at a certain point to make the kids thinking, yani, increase their thinking and their cognitive faculties and so on, at a certain, and to know certain information while they're growing up. SubhanAllah. So the Sheikh said, then this is allowed. I said, طيب Sheikh, there are women, he said his khatiba, he said na'am, his fiance. Because the story was that he has a fiance. He said the fiance. I said na'am Sheikh, she wears shorts and wears. The Sheikh said the one who gets يعني moved sexually by it, he is sick and needs to see a doctor. And when we look at drawings, are they awra or not? They are not awra. But that, and the ulama, they said what I am adding now. When the ulama, they said when you look, whatever thing moves you sexually, na'am, then you have to stop it. Because the Shaykh, with his good nature, and with his, you have these mashayikh that are filling their time with the ulama and the sayings of the people of ilm and the companions and the tabi'een and tib'at tabi'een. Of course he tells you the one who gets moved by this, he needs to go to the hospital. The Shaykh is exaggerating to tell us that nobody gets aroused by this. But some people do, and Allah al-Musta'an, at this day and age. If that's the case, and there are sayings for the people of ilm in regards to this, if this is the case, then you do not watch. Because this leads to that which is haram. This leads to that which is haram. And then I asked him about games. I said, there are families, my family, they gather, we play some games, for example. And the Sheikh said, yes, I know them. Like Super Mario. You know Super Mario, very famous. I don't think any one of you doesn't know Super Mario. It is always on Nintendo. He said, so I showed him, I said, this is, I googled it, I said, this character. He said, yes, this is Super Mario. I said, tayyib. He said, it's allowed. So there are sayings for the people of ilm in regards to this, that this is allowed. And what is correct, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, you are not the one who is making these. If they are tasweer, you're not the one who is making the tasweer. And looking at the tasweer is not haram. And what you're doing, you are looking at the tasweer. Tayyib, what if I'm making a, ya akhi, don't make a character. Click any character and that's it. That is already made. You don't need, because some people ask me, they say, we make the character itself. Don't make it, ya akhi. Stay away from the shubha. Aywa, and this brings us to a general rule when it comes to games and whatever it is. Games that have gods, haram. So many people argue with me, especially at school, with some of my students. But I am not gods, ya akhi, gods. But I'm going and killing them. He says, I'm slaying them in the game. Gods. I went back and forth. I asked so many of the mashayikh in regards to games having gods. Not a single one of them told me that they are allowed. All of them say it's haram. Even if it is just the name, طيب, then what do? I throw it in the garbage? La. Then what do? And this is where sometimes, ya akhwa, when the question is given to the Shaykh, when it is not thorough, the answer, you get misinformation. The answer is correct, but you get misinformed by ignorant people. Just like the people that we have nowadays when it comes to tabdi' and to warning and so on, the most extreme of the most ignorant are the ones who are indulging in these types of fitan. In terms of tabdi', I'm talking now about tabdi', not games. We tell them, go back to the people of ilm, go to the ulama, ask the ulama. La, he wants to talk about it. And he doesn't know how to make wudu. He doesn't know the arkan of the salah. He doesn't know the difference between rukn and Allah al-Musta'an. The most ignorant of the most. So they go and take whatever answer they want and they start doing what? They start applying rulings and and they forbid things out of their head. The same thing when it comes to games, for example. He says, there are gods in the game. What do I do with it? Can I sell it? The Sheikh says, no. I destroy it, I throw it. He says, Sheikh, yes. طيب. Go in depth more. Can I play it if I skip the gods that are there and so on? Yes, you can. You bought a game, you're watching something, all of a sudden they said gods and so on. You skipped it. And nowhere else it would say that thing. Nowhere else would it have that thing. Khalas, you skipped it. But if the story, they will say gods and I don't know, and you skip, you don't see the story. you turn them off. You skip them, all of them. No story, no whatever it is. A story comes, you skip it. And in the game itself, you go on, whatever it is, you are shooting, you are running, you are, there's nothing of that. You skipped it, that's it. Or if you have an option that insta skips or something like this, where's the haram? I remember I asked one of the mashayikh, I said, because this question was directed to me, so I told the sheikh, I said, Sheikh, but it has gods. There are gods there in the story. So he replied to me like this, he said, AbdulAzziz, he skipped it. He stayed away from it. Where is the haram? Did he go for the haram? No. Yani there is a boss in the game that is God of I don't know what. You don't have to go to him. You don't even have to see him. Where's the haram? Where's the haram? Khalas, you skipped it. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Some of the people, some of the brothers, they talk about the lore. You know what the lore is? Yani, Allah subhanallah, this is from the faragha, from the free time that people have. Yeah, go read Siyar A'lam al-Nubala if you want to know about people and to know about. Anyway, so you have a game, they want to dig deep into the story that is not in the game, for example. The characters or fiction, they are fan-made, let's say, or whatever it is. And the story regarding this game, they get into websites and they find haram things. طيب, now the game is haram for you. It's forbidden for you. But it was allowed. نعم, you made it harder for yourself. فشدد الله عليك. أنت شددت فشدد الله عليك. You are the one who went and dug deep into the history of I don't know what and the lore and the backstory of. Now you know that this is it has these haram things, so it is haram for you now. You cannot play it. But there is a brother, he says, la, I don't look into this. Actually, the game itself, I don't pay attention. I just skip everything. I just want to play. I have my brother. We have fun. We get on, we kill some zombies, for an hour, half an hour. I don't know what. We have some fun, and we relax, and then we. طيب خلاص, this is allowed. Alhamdulillah. This is allowed. There are female characters. Pick male characters. But they're showing their hair. This is not awra. But there are some of the people of ilm that said la, close all of this altogether. To the point. Some of our mashayikh, I'm telling you now both of the points so that you understand. It's not like I'm going to give you one thing and then I'm going to tell you there isn't another view. Now we're going in deep, in depth. Some of our mashayikh, they say, you see a glass, if you have a glass. If you draw two eyes on it, this is haram. Khalas. Now you are making tasweer and so on. This is what they say. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. But inshallah, as I told you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, the overweighing saying is what I have reported from the people of ilm, that it is not from tasweer. طيب.
Assalamu alaykum. Our brother's asking, he's saying, what's the ruling on having females as a male, having females as teammates in the games?
This back and forth and talking to women, this is not allowed. Protect. Naam. This is crucial. Allahumma barak. The brothers are bringing the most crucial of questions. Protect your kids. Protect your kids. He's playing some of these games. Always turn off the voice chat. Not allowed for the kids at all. Even if they hit puberty, even if they are still young, somebody tells them, go and get the credit card of your father. Go and take a video of your mother. Go and take pictures of your father and your mother. Go. If you don't do this, they steal you. They sometimes some kids, they killed themselves or they died because of a prank or something like that somebody told them on voice chat. Stay away from this. Like, what about playing non-segregation? I get in, there is a girl, even if you are 20 and 30. I know people, they play with their grandchildren. And this is, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Maybe some of the mashayikh and the ulama, they don't know about this. They always think that games are for kids. Games are not for kids. Now they pay millions and millions about games. And they have championships for games. And it is an actual job. They stream on Twitch. They stream on TikTok. They... all different types of social media. They are paid by companies. They are sponsored. They even have fans, and there are championships with millions. If you win, your team wins, he gets $1 million. Yani you see how now people root for example, a team, basketball team or a baseball team or a football team, whatever it is. People now, they root for a player that plays fighting game, or a player that is playing, or a team that is playing a shooting game, or and so on, or a MOBA, or those that are playing MOBAs or MMOs or La ilaha illallah shooters, or the games that they have competitions and championships with. So keep this in mind, barakallahu feekum, that the mashayikh, they don't know about these things. So I know people that he plays with his children as well as his grandchildren. You understand, barakallahu feekum? Now, what was the question again? I forgot.
It was regarding playing with يعني females. Females as
نعم نعم. So now there are older people that are playing. يا إخوة, المرأة عورة. The mar'a is عورة. Mean all of her. Who said this? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Is the hadith authentic? Yes, it is. It is narrated in at-Tirmidhi and other than at-Tirmidhi, and they are authentic. طيب. Is the voice of a woman عورة? No, it's not. طيب, then I can play with her. Ya akhi, anything that leads to that which is haram is forbidden. يعني بالله عليكم, a man is talking to a woman every day. Apologies for what I'm going to say. How many men are with us here now? I want all the men on the YouTube channel in the chat right now, and also on Zoom. Even if you are playing a game, or you are you spoke to a sister, you didn't see her, you spoke to a sister and she's replying to you. What are you thinking in your head about what is the first thing that is, what are you thinking since there's a female that is replying to you? Don't be shy. You're thinking about what? Intimacy, right? No, leave marriage. I'm saying intimacy. Isn't this what you're thinking about? Huh? لا, respond. This is for ilm. This is for education. This is for ilm. Yes, dear Ustad. Yes, and worse things. Somebody said even worse. Yes. So for the women, understand this, barakallahu fikum. The moment he says assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, she says wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He looks, for example, reads the name, it's the name of a woman. The first thing that comes into his mind is what? Intimacy, meaning sex. That's the first thing that he thinks about. Understand this. This is not how women are. This is how men are. So now you're playing together. What do you think he's thinking about? طيب, he's an honest, honorable man. If he's an honest, honorable man, he's not talking to you. Let's say, طيب, he fell into a mistake. طيب, then he wants to marry you. That's what's going through his head. He wants to see you because he wants to know, you understand what's going on. So the thing that is going on is what? The thing that's going on in his head is what? Is that, can I see this woman? Can I talk to her? Is she suitable for me? Can I marry her? That's even if he wanted something which is halal. Don't talk to me. Let nobody kid you and say, no, this is not the case. There isn't, by the way, brothers and sisters, there isn't one man in the 100 people that are in this, more than 100, it's 120 people that are watching right now, not one of them said no. Look at this. Not one of them said no. If 20, 30 people, whatever, the brothers that have answered, there isn't one person who said no. So, ya ikhwa, even for da'wah, whether it is games, whether it is da'wah, whether it is whatever it is, don't tell me I'm going to message and she's going to message me back and I will talk to her and she will talk to me back and it is just about, it is strict, it's not about anything else. Ya akhi, you want her? Go marry her. What do? Send your family. Don't have a sister? You don't have a mother? You don't have a female member? She goes and talks to them. How do I know where she is or whatnot? If your sister is with you, she goes and approaches her. If you know where she is, your sister can come with you and approaches her. Wallah, I do not know. Can I say, assalamu alaykum, can I have your father's number? Yes, you can. You want to marry the sister? and he wants her father's number, nah, you can ask. Nothing more than that. Not the salamu alaykum, how are you? What's your name? MashaAllah, your eyes are beautiful. Hi, you look beautiful. I don't la. This is that. This is not allowed. Assalamu alaykum. I want your what's it called? Your wali's number to talk to. That's it. You take the wali's number and you call him and you knock on the door, as we say in Arabic. You want to marry the sister, you go and marry the sister. So when you are playing games or whatever it is in any other place, even in da'wah, I had people that called me more than once, and more than one person who they fell into, wallahi I cannot describe this other than craziness because of da'wah. It is da'wah group. They want da'wah group. They got women joined and I don't know what, and then craziness happened. Craziness happened, ya ikhwa. And all of this leads to fornication, leads to a'udhu billah. Yani to the point, wallahi, I tell you this just to benefit. Maybe I have never said this before, but from the masayib that people tell us, a brother group for da'wah, but they are laymen, Allah al-Musta'an. So he was telling me his problem, that they had a group and it was for, there are people that were entering Islam and stuff like this. So there was a lady that entered, a sister entered into Islam and he wanted to marry her. So her brother started, her sister started sending pictures to him, meaning indecent pictures, ya akhwa. Indecent pictures to him in order to do what? To cause problems and so on. And her sister is still not, she's not Muslim. You see what happens because of these communities? Some people, they attack us, or they sometimes they joke, they say, oh yeah, because ya akhi, when we say that, no, this leads to that which is haram. Ya akhi, wallahi, if you have seen what we have seen, if you heard the stories that we have heard, you'll change your mind. I have men that called me in tears, crying about something that happened because of something like this. Man crying, yes, a man crying. Women saying a sister so and so happened to her. She was tricked. She was I don't know what. Even to the point, brothers and sisters, that they get married and he divorces her afterward, one day afterwards. Therefore, we always say, don't leave room for such things. Don't leave room for such things. You want to get married? Ya akhi, go to the masjid. Go to the Islamic center. طيب, I didn't find anybody. The next city. I go to the next, or in my country, I'm living in the West, for example. I am not, but I'm saying somebody is living in the West, for example, and he knows that this city has a lot of Muslims. So he goes to one of the masajid there and he says, I am a Muslim, I'm looking for a wife. It needs work. It's not so simple. And for the sisters as well, it is easy for you to go and speak to men and I don't know what, instead of sending somebody and saying, well, I marry the sister. You can make, you can ask for the man to marry you. This is allowed. For example, the father or the brother also approaches a man who's upon the akhlaq and the sunnah and so on, and he says, would you like to marry my sister? My sister is, alhamdulillah, she's a student of knowledge, she's a so and so, and you are, Allahumma barik, a student of knowledge. We see goodness in you. How about you visit us? You see nadra shar'iyya. So I know a brother who did this. He went to somebody, a good man and so on, and he said, look, I don't remember if it's the second wife or he divorced, something like that. I don't remember. And then he said, he told him, I think he just divorced. He said, you just divorced and so on. Come, my sister is not married and so on. Come, have a nadra shar'iyya, sit down, and he did and married her. And alhamdulillah, they are still married until today, and they have kids and so on. There are so many solutions. What's going on? It's as if it is only the haram way and there isn't another way. No, there is a haram way and there are so many halal ways. There's a haram way and there are halal ways. Just like when we're talking about chess, there's طيب, haram. طيب. How many games are there? Thousands of games that you can play. Subhanallah. طيب. There's a question. He says there is a MOBA game where if you gain 7 kills in a row, you are called godlike. This is haram. Is it forbidden? Where was the question went away? If I play and if the player avoids that, and does the player fall in shirk? No, this is haram. This is where you cannot play this, because it will happen. It will happen, right? So you're gonna play this game, and when you get to this number of kills or score, it will say godlike. So this is forbidden. Play something else. Naam. Is live streaming video games permissible? If by live streaming you mean that you go on Twitch and you start streaming and gaining money and so on, if just streaming itself without gaining money, if the game has something that is haram, then yes, it is haram. If not, then no, it's not haram. If you're gaining money, if what you're gaining is just by your content, and your content is absolutely halal, and you might actually be benefiting people. Did you know the Messenger ﷺ said so and so? Did you know that, because there are games as well like this. Or you are just giving permissible content, and you are giving an alternative to Muslim children and so on, not to watch something that has cussing, that has music, that has that which is haram. You turn off the music, it doesn't have anything which is haram, and that's how you're getting money, then it is allowed. But if you're getting money through the ads that they play on your channel, this is haram. And I asked specifically our Sheikh Muhammad Hisham regarding this now, regarding the ads and so on. Now, no more questions? Yalla, everyone focus and write them down. Any game that has gods in it, forbidden. Any game that causes hatred and enmity and fighting, forbidden. Any game that has the hellfire inside, you go to the hellfire. Like the very known novel called Dante's Inferno. This is forbidden. Not to mention that he mentioned that Muhammad ﷺ is in the hellfire. قاتله الله. Anything that has heaven, you go to heaven, forbidden. Fighting between the angels, forbidden. Forbidden. If you have angels with you, or you're fighting and they have wings, this is forbidden. The devil's fighting the angels, or you are fighting the whatever it is, Valhalla, whatever it is. Look, any gods, whether it is Greek mythology, Norse mythology, whatever it is, Chinese mythology, whatever it is, a dragon god that is, I don't know, his breath was the wind. All of this is haram. طيب, it is only the name. The whole game, there are no gods, it's just one boss comes in and his name is God of I don't know what. Haram, forbidden. طيب, I am slaying the gods, I'm just going and killing them. Haram, forbidden. All the mashayikh said it is haram, from the ones that I asked. Khalas, look for something else. The shaitan comes to you, it has to be this one game. No, it doesn't. طيب, we said gods, haram. Angels, haram. Going to hell itself and the hellfire, Jahannam, haram. Going to heaven, haram. The game has nudity, haram. Has intimacy and sex and so on. Excuse me for saying this, but it's a must that I say it. Haram, forbidden. Cussing and profanity and vulgarity and so on, haram. طيب, can I skip it and so on? Yes, you can skip. If you can skip it, no problem, inshallah. But very rarely something comes out or so. طيب, mute it. Mute it and play the game. You're playing the game, or you're there to listen to the filth that they say. خلاص, mute it. I can't. خلاص, don't play it. طيب. There is dating, romance, haram. Haram. Romance and I don't know what, this is haram. طيب. We talked about the gharar and the paying real life money game and so on. What if there is bowing to a statue? You need to kneel and bow and pray and prostrate. Haram, forbidden. What do? I had more than one question about this. You go to a statue, they tell you pray. Click on pray. Khalas, haram. Can you skip this? If you can skip it, khalas. There is no harm. You don't need to pray. You don't need to go to the statue. You can skip it. So kneeling, praying, worshipping, whatever it is to other than Allah Azza wa Jal in the game, this is forbidden. Is it shirk? Inshallah Azza wa Jal, it does not fall into that, but it is from it. Yani what is being done there is shirk, but I don't tell you you're not a Muslim anymore. La. And what do? طيب, I have the CD or I have the game. Khalas, throw it in the garbage. You cannot sell it You cannot give it to others. You throw it in the garbage because there's shirk in it and so on. What if there is a game or an enemy I'm watching and they have alcohol? Skip it. Skip it. What if it is always alcohol? Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Alhamdulillah, nowadays we can turn off the music. We can skip. Yani an episode, it has alcohol in it. Khalas, skip it. Don't watch the episode. Aywa. Look, yani as a general rule, when you can avoid the haram, alhamdulillah. You cannot avoid the haram, you have to stop. It is haram. If it makes haram something okay for you, you get used to it. So what? Beer. So what? La. Now it's haram. La. If it makes you belittle what is forbidden, mixing between men and women, then so what? La. Forbidden. Therefore, when it comes to children, don't get them used to these things. You have to teach them and tell them this is haram. This is just cartoons. This is made by the computer. This is not real. You give them this identity that it is haram. It's not allowed. We cannot do this. This is just cartoons. It's just computer. They made this through the computer to entertain you. There's nothing. And I think the children, they watch what? They watch the kids as well, right? And animals and stuff like this.